My wife cheated on me and invited her affair partner to our daughter's birthday. Hey everyone. I've been reading stories here for a while now, trying to process what's been happening in my own life. I guess it's finally time to share mine. My wife and I have been married for 8 years. We have 2 young kids together. This past year hasn't been easy for us. We've had arguments, tension, the usual struggles, but I never imagined it would lead to something like this. Lately, I started noticing that she was pulling away. She became distant, closed off, and didn't really want to talk anymore. One evening, I decided to sit her down and ask her directly what was going on. That's when she told me she wasn't happy anymore. She said she didn't feel the spark between us. At first, I blamed myself. I kept thinking maybe I hadn't been attentive enough as a husband. And to be honest, there was some truth to that. I'm not perfect. But the very next day, I saw something on her phone that completely changed everything. It was a message way too affectionate to be innocent. So I checked. And yeah, she had been talking to another man for a long time. Not just talking. There were love confessions, plans for the future, real emotional investment. That's when the anger hit. Still, after reading a lot of similar stories here, I decided not to explode right away. Instead, I tried to be smart about it. I gathered information, spoke to a couple of lawyers, even hired one, and most importantly, I tried to stay calm. A few days later, I asked her directly, "Are you cheating on me?" She stayed silent for a couple of minutes. Then she admitted everything. The affair had been going on for 6 months. And according to her, it was the deepest emotional connection she had ever experienced. Yeah, let that sink in. Even after hearing that, I still tried to save the marriage. I laid out clear conditions, cut all contact with him, start couples therapy, full transparency, basic things, reasonable things. But the final straw? She got angry when I told her to cut contact with him right in front of me. She even insisted she needed one last meeting with him before ending things. That was it for me. I stood my ground and told her, "If he's that important to you, then pack your things and go live with him." She backed down, but not before calling me a controlling asshole. This morning, she showed me a message she supposedly sent him ending things. But honestly, I don't trust it. I'm pretty sure she'll find another way to keep talking to him. And if I'm being completely real, I don't think there's any saving this anymore. I don't even know if I want to save it. At this point, I just want to be able to tell my kids one day that I at least tried. We have our first therapy session tomorrow. But I'm already thinking it might be time to file for divorce. I'm trying to be careful because of the kids, but maybe this is the right move. Update 1. The past few weeks have been rough. That's probably the nicest way I can put it. But they've also given me time to reflect, to think, and to really look at everything from a different perspective. We did end up going to that therapy session. And I'll say this, the therapist was actually really good. She listened to both of us carefully, didn't take sides, didn't try to blame anyone. Instead, she helped us understand the reality we're in now. She also pointed out some deeper structural problems in our relationship. Now, to be clear, none of that excuses what my wife did. Not even close. But hearing it was still useful for me. If I ever build a new relationship in the future, I don't want to repeat the same mistakes. Like I mentioned before, my wife didn't react well when I first demanded she cut contact with the other guy. Before she deleted everything, I managed to catch a couple more messages between them. That was enough for me. I filed for divorce. And a few days ago, she was officially served. Around the same time, I had a serious talk with my brother, Mark. We're very close, and I needed someone I trust to help me stay grounded. That conversation helped me refocus on what actually matters. My kids. Not the illusion of a perfect family. Because the truth is, my wife seemed more interested in pretending nothing had happened than actually fixing anything. When she got the divorce papers, she was furious. Her whole fantasy shattered. But during therapy, the counselor explained my perspective to her, and why this step was necessary. I think it's finally starting to sink in for her. What she's losing, what she's done. As for me, I'm still processing everything. Right after I filed, she was in shock. But in the past few days, she's become extremely emotional. And honestly, I think she truly believed I would never leave her. I've been keeping my distance, but I can see changes in her. Some of them even positive. We talk more now, calmly, respectfully, mostly about the kids. I made one thing very clear. She left a massive wound in me, and now it's on her to do the work. If there's ever going to be any kind of rebuilding, she needs to give me time, space, and even then, I don't know if I'll ever be able to forgive her. What she did was selfish, hurtful, disgusting, but at the same time, we're still parents, and that doesn't change. One thing I am proud of, I didn't let myself drown in anger or self-pity. I handled things with dignity. I took action. And for the first time in a while, I'm starting to feel a sense of calm. I don't know what comes next. My feelings are still all over the place. But I do know one thing. I'm moving forward. Update 2. Quick update. My wife has officially been served with the divorce papers, and I'm now working closely with my lawyer to move things forward. I've got a question for those of you who've been through this before. Has anyone here ever used their spouse's affair fog to negotiate a better divorce outcome? Because right now, my soon-to-be ex-wife seems completely out of it. Like she's not thinking clearly at all. And as far as I can tell, she's still finding ways to stay in contact with her affair partner. Honestly, as long as I don't interfere, it almost feels like it works in my favor. It keeps her distracted. So I'm curious. Have any of you managed to secure unexpected or more favorable terms because of something like this? Any advice on how to handle this stage? And how to maintain that imbalance without blowing things up? I'd really appreciate any insight. Update 3. Hey everyone. I posted here a couple of times already, so here's the short version. My wife cheated. Caught her. She gave me the usual lines. I love you, but I'm not in love with you. And that this other guy was the deepest emotional connection of her life. There was also anger, denial, gaslighting, the full package. I filed for divorce, and it's been a few weeks since she was served. Right now, we're still living in the same house. Mainly because I want to spend as much time as possible with my kids. We've basically split the house in two. I moved into a separate bedroom, which helps create some emotional and physical distance. On top of that, I've been using something called the gray rock method. For those who don't know, it's a psychological strategy where you make yourself as emotionally unresponsive and uninteresting as possible, so the other person has nothing to latch onto or manipulate. I don't engage in her conversations. I don't react. I keep everything neutral and minimal. Of course, it's not always possible, especially in front of the kids. They're still young, but they can feel that something is off. So around them, I try to act normal, positive, present. Evenings help. I don't stay home much. I meet friends, go to the gym, keep myself busy. Anything that keeps me moving forward. But I'll be honest, this whole situation is a balancing act. I want to be there for my kids as much as possible, which means sometimes I still sit through family dinners, small talk, all of it. So I wanted to ask, for those who've been through something similar, what helped you navigate this stage? What are the do's and don'ts? Especially when kids are involved, because that's the hardest part. They may not understand everything, but they feel everything. Update 4. I'd really like to hear your experiences with something else. How did you handle it when your spouse's family, or even mutual friends, started turning against you? Before filing, I made sure to tell some of her relatives, my family, and a few close friends the truth about the affair. But I didn't go out of my way to broadcast it everywhere. Still, I'm pretty sure my soon-to-be ex has already shared her version of the story. And now, I can feel the shift. There's this cold distance coming from some of her family members. Even a few mutual friends. I get it, blood is thicker than water. But it still hurts. Especially when you know you were a good husband, a good father, and somehow you're the one being painted as the villain. So I'm wondering, has anyone here gone through something similar? Did people eventually figure out the truth and change their perspective? Or did you just stop caring and move on with your life? Update 5. Hey everyone, today feels like some kind of closure. This whole situation started back in the summer, and I've been sharing pieces of it here ever since. So first of all, thank you. Seriously. The support, the advice, the messages, especially from those who reached out privately and shared their own experiences. It meant more than you probably realize. Going through something like this without close family nearby is tough. Being alone with your thoughts can be overwhelming, but it also forces you to reflect, to grow. The past few months between me and my soon-to-be ex have been cold, but relatively drama-free. We split the house emotionally, living separate lives under the same roof, while still showing up for the kids. The disclosure phase and mediation process moved pretty quickly. We agreed on 50-50 custody, worked out schedules, holidays, everything. Since we live in a no-fault state, the division of assets followed standard procedures, with a few minor compromises on both sides. I won't get into all the details here, maybe in another post, but I'll be looking for a new place soon, a fresh start. At this point, the divorce is basically finalized. Looking back, I've taken a few important lessons from all of this. 1. Don't play the pick-me game. I tried for about a week. Then I realized it didn't matter. She was still cheating. She's still in that affair fog. But that's her choice. Her life. 2. Get a good lawyer. Not just aggressive, but realistic. Mine understood what I actually wanted, not some fantasy outcome, and helped keep the process efficient and grounded. Because of that, I avoided insane legal bills and unnecessary conflict. 3. Lean on your people. Friends, family, anyone you trust. You can't do this alone. 4. Work out. Seriously, it's one of the best things you can do for your mental health. I started about a month after filing, and I already feel the difference. That sense of control and confidence helped me get through this. 5. Therapy helps. A lot. Having someone objective to talk to made a huge difference. 6. And the most important one, their choices are their responsibility. I've heard every excuse in the book. You were distant. I love you, but I'm not in love with you. You worked too much. All of it. But now that I know the full timeline, the truth is simple. Our marriage started falling apart the moment she let someone else in. Yes, maybe she was stressed, tired from routine, from parenting, from life. But instead of talking to her husband, she chose to confide in a twice-divorced guy with zero morals who fed her cheap compliments. And to justify it, she turned me into the villain. Where that relationship ends up, honestly, I don't care anymore. But bad decisions always come with consequences. That's it. Thanks again to everyone here. There's still a lot ahead of me, but also a lot of new opportunities, a new chapter. And if anyone reading this is going through something similar, feel free to reach out. I mean it. You're not alone. Update 6. Has anyone here dealt with an ex who keeps trying to stay in your life after the divorce? For those who've been following my story, you know it involved what my ex called the greatest emotional connection of her life. Yeah, that one. I'll be moving into my own place soon, but for now, I'm still living in the same house with my soon-to-be ex, for legal and logistical reasons. We have 2 kids, so things aren't exactly simple. That said, the light at the end of the tunnel is getting closer. Of course, we'll have to co-parent. And for that, we need to maintain a functional relationship. But I made one thing very clear. She didn't just destroy our marriage. She destroyed any chance of friendship too. There's no place in my life for a lying cheater. Still, she keeps trying. She offers to help me set up my new place. Talks about keeping holiday traditions for the kids. Acts like we can still be some kind of friendly unit. I shut that down. Firmly. She made her choice. She replaced me. So now I'm simply honoring that decision. I even told her directly, she is not welcome in my home. Has anyone else experienced this? An ex trying to hang around like nothing really happened? Because to me, it feels like a coping mechanism on her part. Like if we stay friends, then the divorce doesn't seem so real. Her affair partner is still nowhere to be seen. She's keeping him hidden. But I know it's only a matter of time before her greatest emotional connection becomes public. And just to be clear, I have zero interest in ever being in the same room with that guy. But I won't lie, part of me is curious to watch how that whole thing eventually blows up. Update 7. As of today, the divorce is officially finalized. I am no longer married. I also got the keys to my new house, and I'll be moving in as soon as possible. I decided it's better to start fresh, on my own terms, and create new memories in a new space. And honestly, I got lucky. I found a well-maintained house just 1 minute away from my old place. It's got a huge fenced yard, a fire pit, a big garage, and an amazing location. The backyard borders a nature reserve. As someone who loves the outdoors, this place feels like my personal sanctuary. Some people might ask, why so close to your ex? Simple. Because I want my kids to know, Dad is always nearby, whenever they need me. Thanks to the advice I got here, I've been focusing on what really matters. I started working out, threw myself into new career opportunities which are already paying off. I'm not chasing the past, and I'm not looking for a new relationship right now. Honestly, I'll probably stay single for a while. I've got 2 young kids. They're my priority, along with my own growth. As for my ex and her affair partner, I've started letting go of that whole disaster. Whatever happens, happens. It's not my problem anymore. Like someone once said, if you start a relationship with someone who cheated on their spouse, then you're getting exactly that, a person who cheats. I did everything I could as a husband and as a father. One day, someone else will appreciate that. Update 8. I'll probably post another update soon, because a lot has happened since the divorce was finalized. Mostly good things. But lately, in quieter moments, I've caught myself looking back, thinking about how the life I had planned just disappeared. And I keep asking myself the same questions. How? Why? How did it all fall apart so fast? Because when I really think about it, we had a good life ahead of us. We were building careers that were finally starting to pay off. We had our home, 2 amazing kids, college savings, plans, a future that actually looked solid. And somehow, it all got blown up. That's the last mental barrier I'm still trying to break through. Because I still can't fully understand how someone can have all of that and throw it away for an unstable serial cheater. Yeah, I know. Desire, excitement, emotional nonsense. But isn't the whole point of marriage to go through hard times together? To choose each other again and again? Instead, she chose something else. And when I look back at everything we built together, I keep coming back to the same thought. How can someone be that selfish? That short-sighted? I know I still have a long way to go in terms of healing, but writing here helps. So again, thank you all. Update 9. Hey everyone, just wanted to share a quick update, especially for those who are at the very beginning of this journey and are afraid of what comes next. It's been 6 weeks since the divorce, and about a month since I moved into my new house. I worked like crazy to turn it into my own space, and now, finally feels like home. The kids have been over many times already. The schedule is working really well. I've read a lot here about how resilient kids are, how they adapt, but until you see it yourself, you still worry. So I'm happy to say, they're doing great. We have our own routines now, our own little traditions at Dad's place, and they've told me more than once that they love being here. As for me, at first the freedom felt strange, almost unfamiliar, but I've learned something important. Having structure helps. Setting daily, weekly, long-term goals, it makes a huge difference. Right now, I'm focused on self-improvement. House, fitness, kids, that's it. I thought about getting back into dating, but honestly, I don't feel the need. Not yet. I remember someone here once said, leaving a marriage is like coming up for air after being underwater. And that's exactly what it feels like. As for my ex, we communicate politely, but strictly about the kids. Nothing more. Her greatest emotional connection? Still nowhere to be seen. And honestly, I don't care anymore. Last night, I was sitting outside, having a beer, smoking a cigar, just enjoying the quiet of my home. And I realized something. Leaving that situation was the right decision. For those of you just starting this process and doubting whether you should leave, I get it. I really do. It's brutal. It breaks your heart. It messes with your head. But removing a cheater from your life? That's the only right move. And trust me, it gets easier. Day by day. Stay strong. Update 10. Hey everyone, it's me again. First off, thank you. Seriously. The support and comments here have been incredible. It's now my second month living on my own. The house is slowly coming together. The kids are doing great, and I'm starting to build new memories. I've even planned a few trips for the near future. Following your advice, I stepped up my workouts. I upgraded my home gym, started hitting the punching bag regularly, and it works. At my last therapy session, my therapist pointed out that I've gained muscle in all the right places and said she sees real progress, not just physically but mentally too. That felt validating, like I'm finally moving in the right direction. I'm still not thinking about dating. Too early. Right now, I'm just enjoying my time. Projects, friends, freedom. But I know what everyone's wondering. Has karma caught up with them? So far? Nothing. No drama. No collapse. No visible consequences for either my ex or her affair partner. What's strange, though, their greatest love story is still nowhere to be seen. He's still in the shadows. And that raises a question. Why? Maybe she's waiting for the right moment? But the thrill of secrecy is gone now. They don't have to hide anymore. I'm out of the picture. And yet, they still are. I have a feeling they're still in contact. She gives it away sometimes. Like how she hides her phone when I'm nearby during kids' events. But I don't get it. This is what you wanted. You risked everything for this amazing connection. So why not go public now? Has anyone else seen this kind of behavior? Update 11. Hey everyone. It's been almost 6 months since the divorce, and nearly a year since D-Day. Writing here has honestly been therapeutic. So here's where things stand. My house is fully set up now. Finally feels like home. The kids have adjusted really well. They like coming over. They've even made friends in the neighborhood. I'm incredibly grateful for how resilient they've been. For them, it's just time with dad, time with mom. No drama, no tears. As for me, I've been fully focused on improving the house. The previous owner was an older divorced guy, and some things were in rough shape. But I see it as an opportunity to make it mine. I also built a proper home gym. Now I work out and box about 4 times a week. My body is getting back into shape. On top of that, I went through a major career shift at work. And thankfully, I didn't crash. I actually got promoted. Recognition, new opportunities. Things are moving forward. I kept all the family drama private. Didn't bring it into work. And that decision paid off. Mentally, it's still a process. Some days are harder than others. Focus can be a challenge. But therapy and training are helping. A lot. I think about my ex less and less. And every step away from that feels lighter. As for her, she still seems to be living in her own version of reality. But we're managing co-parenting. Still keeping strict boundaries. Only talking about the kids. And yes, for those wondering about the affair partner, the greatest love story of all time still hasn't gone public. Although recently, the kids accidentally mentioned seeing him around. So yeah, he exists, still hiding. 6 months later. Sounds like a strong, honest relationship, right? But honestly, I don't care anymore. The important thing is, I'm no longer tied to someone who can lie to my face without a shred of remorse. And now, I actually have a real chance to build something better than before. Update 12. Hey everyone. Wanted to share something that actually helped me a lot. Last night, I had a few beers with a friend. And you know how it is, Friday night conversations somehow solve all the world's problems. For context, he went through a divorce 7 years ago. And his situation was eerily similar to mine. Even our ex-wives share the same birthday. We got to talking about everything. Then he said something that really stuck with me. Bro, think about their life. 2 cheaters together. Think about what kind of guy you have to be to go after a married woman with kids. Now imagine their future. They're stuck with each other. You and I? We can meet someone better or just move on. They can't. He has to live in your house knowing you built that life. Deal with your kids, your ex, her family. and they have to make it work. Otherwise, they'll look like idiots. Can you imagine that kind of hell? And you? You're free. I thought about that, and this morning, I actually felt lighter. Have any of you come to a similar realization? Or seen this play out in real life? Update 13. My ex invited her affair partner to our daughter's birthday. Hey everyone, I need to vent. If you've been following my story, you know I've been moving forward. Things have been getting better. I usually try to share positive updates to help others. But this time, I need advice. My daughter's birthday is this weekend. We already celebrated last week with my side of the family. Small, simple, but she loved it. Now my ex is throwing her own party. A bigger one. The look how great I am kind. I was invited. But just a few days ago, I found out. Her affair partner is going to be there. I told her directly, that's a disgusting move. She didn't even respond. And it gets better. Her coworkers and friends will be there too. People who know about the affair. And the party? In my old house. Honestly, it feels like a setup. Like walking into a snake pit. The only idea I had, show up well-dressed. Fresh haircut. Let them see the new me. Stay briefly. Leave. But even that doesn't sit right with me. Feels like she's trying to provoke me. Push me into reacting. And she knows exactly what she's doing. Update 14. So here's what happened. First, I told my ex I'd come. But I never told her I changed my mind. Saturday morning, I stopped by to drop off a gift and a card for my daughter. Turns out, the kids had been taken to her parents' place for the morning. But in the driveway, I saw his car. I walked calmly into the backyard, and there they were, my ex and her affair partner, decorating for the party. The look on their faces, pure panic. I swear, the guy couldn't even look me in the eyes. Just mumbled something like, hey man. And the weirdest part? I didn't feel anger, just pity. That's progress, I guess. I kept it simple. I'm here to drop off a gift for my daughter. I won't be staying for the party. My ex looked shocked. Then, for the first time in her life, she spoke softly, almost begging me to stay. I said, no thanks. I'll go see her at your parents' place. And that was it. As I was leaving, I tossed him a, see you around, bro, and walked out with my head high. Not even 3 minutes later, she called. Tried again to convince me to come. I politely refused. Then I went to her parents' house, gave my daughter the gift, spent some time with the kids, kept everything positive, and didn't mention any of it. After that, I went home, cleaned up, had a solid workout, much needed. Later that evening, I even went on a date. It wasn't anything special, but the girl was nice. And honestly, I just needed the distraction. Today, my daughter called me herself. Thanked me for the gift. Didn't even ask why I wasn't at the party. Just like many of you said, she was too busy enjoying her day to notice. And I realized something. If I had gone, it would have set me back emotionally for nothing. Instead, my ex told everyone I'd be there. And I wasn't, while he was. I'm pretty sure people connected the dots. And me? I got to enjoy my weekend without mental exhaustion. Update 15. Final. Hey everyone. This will be a short but kind of funny update. The response from you all has been incredible. Seriously, thank you. I'm still smiling thinking about the move I pulled last weekend. Since then, I've had a really good week. And here's a little Friday humor for you. After D-Day, my ex's family pretty much cut me off immediately. Which, I get, blood is thicker than water. But one relative reached out to me anyway. We've stayed in touch. Solid guy. So during my daughter's party, he texted me, hey, let's grab a beer this week. You were definitely missed here. We met up a few days later, grabbed some drinks, and he told me everything. Apparently the whole party was awkward, like painfully awkward. People avoided eye contact. You could feel the tension. And get this, the affair partner wasn't even properly introduced. My ex kept her distance from him, mostly just bossed him around. Her parents didn't talk to him at all, sat separately, looked uncomfortable, and the guy looked like a fish out of water. Spent most of the time inside, avoiding people. Some relatives were quietly saying the whole thing was in bad taste. I'm not gonna lie, I laughed. Out loud. Everyone understood why I wasn't there. They knew I had already given my daughter her gift. Mission accomplished. So yeah, that's my Friday story. For anyone going through something similar, I'll say it again. Put yourself first. Carry yourself with dignity. Keep moving forward. It doesn't always feel rewarding right away. But just like in the gym, results come with time. And they're worth it. Have a great Friday, everyone. That's it from me.